Hey guys, it's Fat Dad Fanboy here, and I'm going to talk to you about Marvel and Netflix, The Defenders! We've all been waiting for it, man, and it's finally here. So what did I think? Well, let's start off by talking about some of the things that I really liked about the show. First, the fact that it is actually here. It's been building. There's been a lot of hype since the first Netflix first announced that they were going to do the Daredevil series and then Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. So to finally see the characters come together was fantastic. I'll tell you, my favorite parts were the characters themselves. I felt like the interactions. It does take a little while for us to actually start seeing the characters get together. The first couple of episodes are really kind of catch-up episodes. What's going on with Daredevil? What's going on with Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, etc. But once they start coming together, those relationships form. And they start, they start working together and having different worldviews. I really love the Danny Rand, Luke Cage interactions that we see. Obviously, there's some tension from them. They have completely different views of the world. Luke Cage is an ex-con. He's black. Danny Rand's a rich white kid with a lot of privilege. Luke Cage sees the world more locally. Danny Rand sees the world more globally. So just some different concepts there that really work together well and kind of balance, kind of create that conflict between the two characters. I love that they kind of speak to the privilege of race and of wealth. And really kind of that makes an interesting dynamic and gives the characters conflict with each other. But I also love that Danny Rand and Luke Cage absolutely show a lot of great signs of friendship, and I feel like you can really see Iron Fist and Power Man kind of working together. I really feel like their relationship was probably the most interesting character dynamic through the entire series. I would also say that Daredevil and Jessica Jones had some interesting connections as well. She kind of gets Matt's past a little bit, and he kind of can see who she is as well. I feel like there was some great action, particularly the fight scenes between the main characters. The first fight scene between Iron Fist and Luke Cage, it starts off and Luke Cage is just kind of throwing Danny Rand around and kind of pushing him down, and then of course he turns on the glowing fist and he gives a little bit of his own medicine back to Luke Cage, which I thought was really cool, and it really kind of shows how powerful the fist is. And then just some of the other fight scenes, where Daredevil and Iron Fist are fighting each other, and then Iron Fist has to really engage between Jessica and Luke as well, and it just kind of their best fight scenes are when they're fighting each other. Of course, there's a great fight scene in the Chinese restaurant where we see the Black Sky show up, and it's the three guys from the Defenders are there, and Sigourney Weaver's character Alexandra is there, and Jessica kind of shows up with a car, so coming right through the window, which was like, that was a hello moment. It really kind of reminds you just how strong she is. And then of course I think some of the fighting towards the end really gets good when you see the Black Sky kind of face off with some of the other characters as well, and certainly I would have loved to have seen more Elektra versus Jessica Jones, but still what we saw, some great fighting. Some of my disappointments: first and foremost, the villains were extremely disappointing. Particularly, let's talk Sigourney Weaver's character Alexandra. She was so hyped, and her involvement in the project was so hyped. I was expecting it to be amazing, and she does a wonderful job acting, but through the series we're told how tough she is, what a badass she is, and we never see it. We never really see that come out. We never really see what her grand power is. The most powerful of them appears to be Madame Gao, if you really watch it, but again, at no point in time do the villains ever seem like they would really overwhelm our heroes. So that was extremely disappointing. I also felt like, I got a little bit too much Elektra at times. She has some good scenes, but, early on, she's not extremely successful against the Defenders. And then as it goes on, it's just a little bit too much. The whole relationship between Elektra and Daredevil comes back into play. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of on Elektra overload. I'm ready for her to kind of move on in the story, and I'm hoping we don't see her in Daredevil season 3 for a while. But again, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Some of the other disappointments with it were some of the side characters. I really felt like Colleen Wing and Misty Knight played well into the series, so did Claire. But then you had Karen Page, Patsy Walker, Foggy. you know, they just didn't feel like they were really needed in the show. They weren't really needed in the series. The whole Daredevil and Karen Page relationship thing, there was not a lot of gravity to it. I would love to see Matt Murdock and Karen work it out and eventually be a couple, but you know, he's still so hung up on Elektra, and it just really makes that dynamic not interesting. You know, it doesn't ever feel like it lives up to that. So what did I think of the Defenders overall? You know, I'm gonna give it a 3 3/4 fat thumbs up. It was good. It just wasn't quite what I was hoping it to be. I felt like there was some room that it could grow and could get better, but it was certainly good. I would certainly watch it again, but of the Marvel selections, it was kind of in the middle.